Hey, this is Mike Lindsay from Vital MX, and we have another big piece of the silly season that's been solved, honestly, earlier than we expected. It has been announced that Marvin Musquin does have a contract now for 2023. It was announced yesterday evening at the Rev Summit, which is the KTM Group brand, so KTM Husqvarna Gas, their dealer show they were doing in the North Carolina region. They had all the dealers out to check out the bikes at a local track. They did something at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Marv was brought up on stage, talked about his time with KTM and everything, and they went ahead and dropped the announcement that he has re-signed with Red Bull Factory KTM for 2023 in another Supercross-only deal. The reason we say we find this surprising was based on some talk we had heard while we were at the Millville National that his deal might have gone held up on a decision from Ryan Dungey. If you checked out the interview we did with Ryan Dungey this weekend, yes, he basically came out and said it, that he has options to continue racing next year and he's weighing them. And amongst those options would be either doing another outdoor-only deal with KTM or even potentially coming back for Supercross. We had heard that might play into waiting out to see if Marv got a deal, but apparently not. Really stoked to see that Red Bull KTM has stepped up and given the only rider that has won a premier race on that 450SX, that new generation bike, a ride for next year. Because, yeah, Marv was fourth in the championship, got the only win on the bike, and was one of only 5 winners this year in the 450 Supercross class here in the United States. So it is interesting because we really thought this year might be Marv's last SX only deal. Everybody was talking about it, 1-year deal. But again, definitely good results. Really interesting continuing. His contract has been up since May, but he's very loyal to the group he's with, so he's been helping with some R&D projects. That's why we've seen him on different bikes, 2-strokes, 4-strokes, Huskies, whatever, just helping out, putting the time, helped out with some 250 motor development for Volan. But he's excited to get back to it. Interesting part about the announcement is what his program looks like. So for people that didn't realize this, he was not on the Baker program this year. He was not in Florida. He chose to stay in Southern California, being Supercross only. It's pretty easy with where he lives to the KTM shop to the test track are all just within minutes of each other. So he stayed here this year from the 21 off season into the 22 Supercross season and worked with David Villeman, and that's what he says he continues to plan doing into 23, that he will stay put here in SoCal and work with Villeman and continue the program that he was happy with this season. Now this gets interesting because we've talked about this a bit on other videos. We believe everything we've heard is directive-wise, the KTM groups worldwide are thinning down the teams. Budgets into MotoGP, other things. The MXGP and MX2 teams have shrunk a lot in size. The US teams aren't usually running as many riders. With what sounds like a nearly done deal with Vial coming over between Plessinger, Webb, Volan, and the possibility of Vial, that's 4 guys. Dungey possibly being in the mix, and now Marv getting a deal. I mean, if Dungey wants to do a full season, that gives them 4 guys for Supercross next year. That's going to be a very full tent and a big surprise. It would be really cool to see because, again, it's been trending the other direction. Of course, these are all riders that have great history and success with KTM. It's good for them marketing-wise on track, so cool to see them step up, and if they hopefully make all these happen, could make for a very good year for them next year, even though there's been great fanfare with Crowley and Dungey this year. Overall, the lack of results with the 250 side, with Webb not even getting a race win. It's been a tough year on KTM and worldwide without being able to get MXGP wins with Hurling's injury. Yeah, it's been a tough one, so cool to see them double down and potentially stack the deck a little bit for the 2023 season. So we'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Are you surprised? Also like to see people discuss. So I know a lot of people were wondering like if this was a weighted out situation for Marv. We saw suggestions where people are like, oh, he should just go sign with somebody else. Well, big thing to think about in his case, if this is truly his last year, do you burn relationships? Do you burn your relationship with KTM? Do you burn your relationship with Red Bull, all them, to just go to another team for possibly 1 year? And if you're another team, who wants to risk that opportunity of taking somebody like Marv, who, you know, clearly is going to expect a lot, is going to maybe come over for only 1 year to a new bike, really only knows that atmosphere. So kind of, it's weird to say, not that Marv couldn't have had another deal put together, but really this is the only thing that makes sense at this point for pretty much everybody involved, is for him to continue on with the Red Bull KTM squad. So thumbs up, like, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we keep you guys entertained with all these news breaks and rumor mills and just trying to keep you all up to date with what's going on in the industry. Thanks for watching.